Just host of the War Room podcast. You know, earlier I mentioned that comment by Kevin McCarthy where he said that we just witnessed the attempted coup to take down President Trump. It was the worst coup since Lincoln, is what he said on this program. And this is one of the reasons why you believe they're not going to stop attacking the president. You want the president to fight back.
This is this is the nullification project to nullify his presidency. And you see why. They were wrong. They are the appeasers. He's the Churchill figure. He has stood tall. That's why this is the trial of the century. It's about the crime of the century. It has to be big. This is not C-SPAN 3. This is going to be on global television. That's why I believe he has to have some of the House people like Lee Zeldin and Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan and Gates and these guys.
That's not going to happen, though, is it?
I think he's still got opportunity to do that. I think the president needs that because they need to be, these fire breathers need to be there. We can't worry about the decorum of the Senate. This is about the direction of the United States of America. It's about the peace and prosperity of the world. Donald Trump's policy is working, and this is why she slow-walked this. She invited him to do the State of the Union, and then she purposely slow-walked this because she wants in the middle of the trial, you know, and I can see the New York Times headline, under a cloud of uncertainty, Trump addresses the nation. He has to be acquitted. He will be acquitted and exonerated. That should happen, and then he should do the State of the Union because the whole world will watch this.
So you're calling on President Trump to do what? Tell Nancy Pelosi what?
Tell Nancy Pelosi, hey, tell Nancy Pelosi, when you deliver it and we have a trial, and after I'm acquitted, I'm going to come and have the State of the Union. Not until then. President Trump's got a great saying, no games, okay? This is all game playing by the Democrats. That's got to be brought to an end, okay? Now, they forced her this week to deliver him. That's why I think this trial, he ought to go big. He ought to demand witnesses. I think President Trump ought to demand. There's no witness on the other side of Bolton and Mulvaney. There's nothing they can say that's going to be that big a deal.
Well, they want to hear from John Bolton. John Bolton last week, why did he come out and say, yeah, I'm ready to testify?
I have no, maybe to sell books. All I know is that, you know, President Trump has to protect the office of the presidency for future presidents, as he said about executive privilege. But there's nothing about the details of this thing that'll be any big deal. Offset by the whistleblower, by Bannon, by Biden, by Hunter Biden, by the IG report. This is the crime of the century. This was an attempted coup on a sitting president who turned out to be right. And you know who says he's right? The kids in Tehran, the kids in Beirut that are in the streets trying to throw off Hezbollah, the kids in Hong Kong that are being gassed and taking rubber bullets, the voters in Taipei who yesterday threw out the Chinese Communist Party with a landslide, who all wave American flags and all have signs of Donald Trump being a superhero. On the streets of the world, the people that want freedom and democracy against these dictators, that Trump said no more appeasement. I'm going to confront this, okay? I'm going to confront it, and we're going to stop it on my watch. The nation should be proud of this, and if the trial's handled, this is not some technical legal thing.
Doesn't that also impact the president, and his timeline? Remember last time, the State of the Union, it was pushed back a week. She said she didn't want him to come to the chambers to deliver the State of the Union. He was talking about giving a rally. I mean, this is deja vu all over again.
That was more games about when the government shut down because he demanded certain things, particularly for the wall.
So here we are questioning the State of the Union again?
Well, no, but here's the reason. She's gamed this. Why did she take so long? Remember, they impeached him because he's a clear and present danger. That's what they said. He's a clear and present danger. We have to do this before Christmas. It has to happen because all this influence in the following elections, right? He's a clear and present danger. They have waited for weeks for two things. They're trying to get more evidence. They're running around trying to get more evidence because they have no evidence. They're afraid the guns are going to be turned to them and they're going to be put on trial because they don't have a case. The other is that she wants him to have a State of the Union where there's some uncertainty. After it's all over, after he's been exonerated, then he goes before the world at the State of the Union and lays out the state of this union and the state of the world. The world is going to be more peaceful and prosperous and less war because a president like Donald Trump came up like Churchill did and said, we're going to stop this.
Has he answered you on this? Have you told him?
We just said this the other day on the show. We've been saying this kind of nonstop for the last 24, 48 hours.
So do we know if he's considering delaying the State of the Union?
President Trump is a field player. He understands the moment. He'll think this through. He understands. I also think he said on Laura Ingraham the other night about who he wants as witnesses, who he would see. That's the way the trial should be run. It should be put them on trial, put the whistleblower, put Bannon, put the apparatus to try to shut down and do a coup against a democratically elected president that had the right ideas about how to bring peace and prosperity to the world. The Chinese are not coming this week to sign this trade deal because everybody mocked him on tariffs. His tariffs work. He broke them. And that's why they're here. That's why they're here to sign this trade deal. Because Donald Trump's program worked when everybody on Wall Street, all the op-ed pages and all the business said, oh, this is wrong. It was Trump, after 20 years of allowing them to lie, cheat, and steal, he brought them to account, and he brought them to account because he took bold and dramatic action.
Well, even the Democrats on stage, ready to debate this week, their last debate leading up to the Iowa caucuses, believe that China is the bad actor here and agree with the president.
They do agree, Marie, but it's like they're like in seventh grade. It's embarrassing to see what they say about what to do with China. Look at Donald Trump's actions on China to hold him to account, okay? And that's why you've got explosions in Hong Kong and Taipei, to hold the mullahs to account with economic warfare, not sending American troops, killing bad guys when you need to kill them, but having economic warfare that broke the mullah,
Real quick on the debate stage this upcoming week, Michael Bloomberg will not be there, but he's willing apparently to spend up to $1 billion if he doesn't get the nomination. It worked to get the House majority last year, didn't it?
The reason he's being impeached is because of Michael Bloomberg's money in back of these candidates Nancy Pelosi curated. On Super Tuesday, you're going to see the effect of money in the Democratic primary because he's going to drop a financial atomic weapon on the field. He's already spent almost $200 million. Michael Bloomberg is committing $1 billion. This is how maniacally they want to remove Donald Trump from office. And the American people, now we're seeing the golden age. Freeman the other day in the Wall Street Journal said we're seeing the golden age of the underdog in America, the golden age of the striver in America. 9% income growth if you don't have a high school degree. The first time that blue-collar workers over white-collar workers, workers over managers, blue-collar over white-collar. And they see this in Tehran. They see this in Beirut. They see this in Hong Kong, and they see it in Taipei.
Yeah, and certainly in the U.S., you've got very strong jobs performance as well, 50-year low on unemployment. Steve, it's great to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Steve Bannon.